Bushido is a concept from feudal Japan that we need to explore in more detail, so let's take a look at what this is. First of all, the definition of Bushido is the way of the warrior. It literally means the way of the warrior. It's the ethical ideal and it's the moral attitudes of the samurai class. So Bushido is going to be the most important thing that every samurai has to live his life by. It basically is their moral code of conduct. So there are 7 virtues in Bushido. There's Gi, which is justice, fairness, and equality. Yu, which is valor, courage, and self-discipline. There's Jin, which is benevolence, compassion, and generosity. We also got Rei, which is courtesy, respectfulness, and politeness. Makoto, which is honesty and morality. Meiyo, which is honor and glory. Chunge, which is devotion, loyalty, and dedication. All right, and you can see here they are on this little chart, and these are the 7 virtues. So it's interesting when you look at these virtues because most of us, when we think of samurai, we think of guys with swords that go around killing people and they're fighting and they're fierce. But these virtues are more about ethics and morality. There's much more of that than there is about sort of violence and fighting. So perhaps what people need to sometimes think is rethink their understanding of what it means to be a samurai. Alright, samurai also believe in what's known as seppuku. Now, seppuku is ritualized suicide or living to die. That's literally what it means. Now, be careful. This isn't quite what you think it is. This is the myth that the samurai sort of just killed themselves for no reason. It's more complicated than that. Basically, it concerns itself with self-sacrifice. So a samurai would only kill himself. He would only commit seppuku if he brought shame or dishonor to his lord. So in this picture you see here, they took a very small sword. It's a short sword that they carry because samurai were required to carry 2 swords at all times, punishable by death if they didn't have their swords. But basically the short sword could be used, a small knife could be used. They would basically cut open their belly. They would have to sit still, quietly. They couldn't make a sound. They couldn't make noise. They couldn't make a face. And they would have to basically cut themselves and cut up their abdomen, their internal organs in their abdomen, as a means of committing this ritual suicide of seppuku. The reason why the man behind him has his sword out is oftentimes they would chop off the head of the person, shortly after they started this process as a way of ensuring that they did not bring any dishonor in the process by maybe screaming or yelling out or something of that nature. Now, something beneficial should come out of the sacrifice of oneself or life. So this isn't like they're depressed and unhappy and they decide to kill themselves. What this is really about is maybe they didn't fight well in a battle, they didn't fight with valor, maybe for whatever reason they were dishonest, but for some reason they brought shame and dishonor to their lord, to their family, maybe even to their community, maybe even to their nation as well. And so to make things right, they had to find a way to make a sacrifice that would somehow make that shame and dishonor for everybody else go away. And that's what the process of seppuku is about.